Let's go. 2 cup, please.
I've been a chef for over 50 years.
Service.
And I've come to realise that the food we eat tells a story about who we are.
So I'm on a mission to find out what we all like to eat today.
Oh, that is good.
From our traditional dishes
Long live the Yorkshire pudding.
to those we've made our own.
I mean, that is multifaceted Britain on one page.
I'll meet producers,
There you see a robot. It's picking them.
I find a lot of craft beers too hoppy. Don't know why, but it tastes all right.
some of our best chefs,
We're picking scurvy grass.
Crikey.
Pretty punchy.
plus those keeping traditions alive.
We've just got to finish. I have no hope.
I'll see how food brings us together.
Dig in.
Lovely, that sort of hot garlic. Fabuloso.
And from my home in Padstow, I'll bring you great dishes of my own.
Love stuff like this. So join me as I unearth the stories behind the food we all love to eat today.
I've seen some incredible things on my culinary tour of the UK, but nothing is more pleasing to my eyes than the familiar rolling countryside of the West Country.
It's great to be back on my home turf. Behind me, there's Dartmoor. Looks like the rain's coming in. And over there, Exeter, Exmouth, and the open sea. There's something about the West Country. Maybe it's down to the warm, wet climate, verging on the tropical, or whether it's down to the softness of the accents. But there's something about this place which inspires people to do brilliant things in food and farming.
Stretching from Bristol in the east to Penzance in the west, the West Country encompasses 5 counties and is home to the vast, wild expanse of Dartmoor and the atmospheric ruins of Tintagel Castle in Cornwall. I've always been proud of the spirit of innovation to be found here, so I'm starting out in Devon, home to a crusading force in sustainable agriculture.
Well, I'm just outside of Totnes. I'm going to see an organic farmer and distributor of his own organic produce. And he's an absolute pioneer. And the great thing about this man is that he's not just growing organic food because it tastes better, but he feels that we all got a duty to eat organic produce, not just for our own health, but for the benefit of the planet.
This is Riverford, 1,300 acres of mixed-use farmland, producing a wide array of fruit and vegetables in fields and unheated greenhouses.
It's very nice talking to you.
It's the life's work of Guy Singh-Watson, a man who blazed a trail for organic farming in the 1980s, when a lot of us didn't even know what it was.
Guy, what does organic mean? Tell me what organic means.
Well, if I'm going to give you the most reductionist, it would be, you know, farming without synthetic fertilizers and pesticides.
So why is it so important then?
Initially, my motivation for farming organically is that I just didn't want to handle those canisters with skulls and crossbones on them. My brother had just been in hospital with paraquat poisoning, which is a broad-spectrum herbicide. I just didn't want to be handling them. And it's developed over 40 years into a sort of all-encompassing sort of philosophy, really, that I want to farm in partnership with nature. I want to learn from nature. I want to be part of nature, as opposed to what most farming does is, you know, completely destroy what was there and impose something else, often quite alien, in its place. So in these tunnels, instead of spraying off with, you know, insecticides to get rid of the spider mites and aphids and so on, we will introduce predators. So we've got fennel growing around the outside, which the predatory wasps will overwinter on. So we're trying to, you know, look at what's happening in a hedgerow, the sort of dynamic balance that you have, and trying to bring that into our greenhouse rather than, you know, reaching for a can of pesticide.
How have you managed to make enough money to grow and pay everybody? Because there's not much margin in a Swede.
The secret is selling it direct, you know, to our customers on the doorstep, and we get 100% of the retail price, as opposed to selling to a supermarket where probably you get a quarter.
Guy became one of the first farmers to deliver mixed vegetable boxes directly to people's homes, a revolutionary moment that upended the traditional norms of the supply chain. He now has 70,000 customers across England and Wales, receiving a veg box each week, something I never could have predicted when I first met him.
So I came to Riverford Farm years and years ago, and it was just like a small, you know, doing the right thing, almost like selling vegetables on the roadside.
Yeah, I did start selling vegetables out the back of my car, more or less. And it's been a long old journey, and I do sometimes come in at a weekend when there's no one around, and I can't really quite believe what I see.
From selling veggies at the roadside to being the boss of a company with a turnover of over £100 million, Guy has now even expanded into the restaurant trade with this impressive on-site eatery selling the day's delicious produce. I love that the menu has limited options based on what's been freshly picked. I'm having a dish of pickled aubergine, heritage tomatoes and French beans.
This is lovely. Very nice dressing. Slightly tart, which is great. Do people complain about having no choice?
No, I've never heard anyone complain. And I suppose Riverford and our veg boxes is the same. You know, we pack a good selection of vegetables, you know, as far as possible, grown locally at that time of year. And it takes out so much stress and wastage, and it means that you can serve good food more cheaply, you know, without making the compromises that are made in most kitchens.
Well, this is lovely. Where's the bread from? Just down the road?
No, they bake it here.
Oh, well, of course they do.
Of course they do.
I think sometimes one's so overwhelmed by things going wrong on the planet that you sort of wonder, what can we do? But talking to Guy has been really inspiring. I mean, he's achieved so much and he's done it all in the right way.
They say eating a little less meat is one way we can all help the environment. And having left Riverford with a bounty of heirloom carrots and beets, frankly, I'm more than happy to go vegetarian for a day.
I want to bring you into the Alice in Wonderland world of tarte tatin. Well, vegetable tarte tatins. Everything's back to front and upside down. And this is what I did today.
The carrots are the showstopper here. These eye-catching coloured varieties are perfect. Slice about 10 of them lengthways, but save the tops. You'll need them for later. Add 3 sliced beetroots, then drizzle with olive oil and season. Add sugar next. That's the key to unlocking the flavour of the veg through caramelisation. And I've got one more trick.
I really like a bit of star anise in roast vegetables like this. It's got this very, very subtle aniseedy flavour, and it works really well with the sweetness of carrot and beetroot.
Give it all a good mix and pop in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. For the rest of the filling, sweat red onions in butter. Add a clove of garlic, season, and once softened, set aside. With the roasted veggies done, butter a dish and embrace your inner Picasso as you layer the carrots.
I put the thick end on the outside and the thin end in the middle, and I alternate the colours, yellow, orange and purple, creating a lovely pattern. Then the beetroot. If there are any little gaps between the carrots, you'd be able to see the deep purple of the beetroot through the gaps. Put those all on, and then the onions.
Life is way too short for making puff pastry, so roll out some of the packet stuff, drape it over the dish, and do your best to tidy up the edges.
pop that all in the oven at 190 degrees fan for about 25-30 minutes. Next, I made a pesto out of carrot tops. I picked up the idea from my recent travels, and it works a treat. I put a copious amount of carrot tops into a liquidizer. Then I added grated parmesan, garlic, pine nuts, salt, and plenty of olive oil, and whizzed it all up.
With the tart now baked, it's time for the tricky bit. Pop a plate over the dish ready for flipping. Or if, like me, you can't find one, use a massive chopping board instead. I confess I wasn't sure that this was a good idea.
Did it work? Yes, it did. Hey, wunderbar. It looked perfect. Just one carrot had fallen out of place.
A drizzle of the pesto, and you've got yourself a lovely, colourful, flavourful dish.
And talking of which, here's a little bit. I just bought a slice out for me to taste. Carrots are the thing. If carrots weren't a vegetable, I'd almost say they were a fruit, because when they're cooked like this, they're so deliciously sweet. And the carrot and my carrot top pesto, fabulous.
I just love it when the produce does the hard work. So I'm on the trail of another West Country speciality. It is, of course, cheddar cheese. These days, most cheese is mass-produced, but there's been a revival in handcrafted artisan cheese. And there's one family in Devon that's been making cheese since 1540. And in 2023, they won the coveted People's Choice Award for the best cheddar in the UK. And it's all the hard work of the nation's most famous female cheesemaker, Mary Quicke.
This is the magic moment cheese where
Right.
the solid's emerging from the liquid.
Okay.
Because you want to make the very best
Yeah.
out of that beautiful raw material.
That raw material is milk, to which a starter and rennet have been added to kick off the cheese-making process. The rennet causes solids or curds to form, and the liquid byproduct is the whey.
Brought the curds and the whey down into these beautiful vessels, coolers.
Yeah.
And we're taking the whey off, and we're bringing the curd, which is the solid, to the side.
Why are you doing all this by hand?
Our cheesemakers here are making judgments on the
Yeah.
basis of their knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
And they're doing that at every moment. And because it's this open vat, handmade, small batch process, they can actually make changes. Whereas if you're in one of those big dairies where you've got, all the milk from Cornwall pouring at you, you can't stop anything.
Yeah.
You just have to go with however that goes.
As often in biology, there's an unpredictability to how the milk and starter will react. Working by hand allows Mary's team to tweak the process to suit each batch.
This starter, as it happens, going a little bit faster today.
So it's almost the cheese is running the show.
Cheese is absolutely running the show.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Once separated from the liquid whey, these great blankets of curd are fed into a machine and milled into flakes. Then handfuls of salt are mixed in with what look like garden forks. Next, it's shoveled and pummeled by hand into a steel vat lined with muslin cloths.
There's 27 kilos of curd in each of those cheeses, so that is pretty hardcore.
And when the workers' biceps have done their best, a hydraulic press takes over to squeeze them into their final shape. Then it's all about adding flavour. Each cheese is matured for up to 2 years in a very special place.
Come into our cheese cathedral.
Oh, wow. Gosh, that's amazing. Smells so good.
What a sight! 4,000 cheeses in floor-to-ceiling racks that are turned every 10 days to ensure an even texture. The muslin cloth allows the cheese to breathe and a mould to form, creating a rich flavour under the rind that I'm just longing to taste.
This 2-year-old cheese.
Yes.
So have a smell.
Yes.
So you've got some of those kind of quite funky volatiles.
Yeah, funky volatiles. Sounds like a band. Oh, magnificent. It's got such a body and also still acidity, but it's sort of mature acidity. That's gorgeous. A real work of art, I would say, Mary.
Thank you, Rick. I'm really honoured coming from you. And to make the most beautiful cheese we can from those cows' milk, you know, for me, that's an amazing privilege.
Amen to that. I want to celebrate Mary's produce with a recipe that does it justice. With this cheese, potato and spinach filo pie, I'm letting that gorgeous mature cheddar be the star, with the milder flavours of the veg, the support acts.
The first thing I'm going to do is fry some onions in butter. In we go with the onions. What I'm looking for is a light brown with the onions here, and you can easily tell when you're going to achieve that light brownness by the amount of steam that's coming off, because the onions won't start to caramelise until all the water's driven off. There we go. Bit hot.
Next, the pie filling. Crack an egg into a bowl, dollop in some cream, sprinkle in salt, give it a little kick with English mustard, and season with black pepper.
Good, there's my cream filling all ready to go. Now, the next thing is to grate some cheese to put in there. When I was talking to Mary Quicke, I was sort of thinking, I really want to do a dish that you can really taste the quality of the cheddar in it. Okay, spinach.
Simply wilt the spinach in a pan with a splash of water. It only takes 2 ticks.
Right.
Next, slice up some boiled potatoes.
So, now to make up my filo pie. First thing to point out is you don't need to make your own filo. Really hard to make.
It's so delicate it can easily stick, so grease a baking tin by brushing with oodles of butter and then do the same to each layer of pastry. Lay out 4 sheets in a crisscross pattern to make a base. Add about half your potatoes, onions, spinach, the cream filling, and top with the cheese. Repeat the process, season, and add another few layers of filo for the top, with a bit more butter brushing to make sure you get a gorgeous, crispy, golden finish when it's baked.
Okay, now just fold everything up. The sort of rougher it looks, the better it'll look when it comes out of the oven. It's almost like working with paper. Final butter. So, there we go.
Pop all that into a fan oven at 190 degrees for about 35 minutes. And there you have a delicious, veggie, cheesy delight to enjoy.
Well, I'm so looking forward to this. I know it's going to be a mixture of softness and crunchiness, which indeed it is. What really pleases me is the mature cheddar in there. Just got so much flavour in it. It's a real deal cheese pie.
I've left the lowlands of East Devon to head up onto Dartmoor. Here, Haytor rocks dominate the landscape. granite from Haytor quarries was used to build the first London Bridge. Dartmoor has also been the inspiration for many a writer, not least Arthur Conan Doyle, who used the moor as a setting for one of his most famous novels, The Hound of the Baskervilles. It's said he was inspired by the local legend of a fierce, spectral dog known as a yeth-hound, said to embody the spirit of an unbaptized child. It hunts the moor at night with the devil. But I've come to this part of the moor to tell you about another well-known tale.
You've probably heard of the phrase Uncle Tom Cobley and all. Well, it comes from a song called Widdicombe Fair, and Widdicombe is just down the bottom of this hill. I really like it. It's a great Devon folk song, full of West Country humour.
Tom Pierce, lend me your grey mare, all along, down along, out along me, for I wants to ride over to Widdicombe Fair, with Bill Brewer, John Stewart, Peter Gurney, Peter Davy, Dan Wynne, Harry Hawk, old Uncle Tom Cobley and all, old Uncle Tom Cobley and all.
For over 200 years, Widdicombe in the moor has held a country fair attracting people from all over Devon. The folk song Widdicombe Fair tells the story of 7 men who travelled on a borrowed grey mare to get to the fair.
Well, Friday came and Saturday soon.
Their now famous journey is celebrated in the church with this delightful model.
With Bill Brewer, John Stewart, Peter Gurney, Peter Davy, Dan Wynne, Harry Hawk, old
Uncle Tom Cobley and all. Old Uncle Tom Cobley and all. As I understand it, these were real people and they lived way across Dartmoor. And the next line goes, so Tom Pierce, he got up to the top of the hill and he seed his old mare down a making her will. And I think that just means she's on the point of dying. No wonder with all those 7 heavy men on her back. So Tom Pierce's old mare, her took sick and died. And Tom, he sat down on a stone and he cried. But this isn't the end of this shocking affair.
For when the wind whistles cold on the moor of a night, Tom Pierce's old mare doth appear ghastly white.
So it's the ghost of Tom Pierce's grey mare. And all the long night be heard skirling and groans from Tom Pierce's old mare in her rattling bones.
Now that Tom Pierce's old grey mare is dead, all along, down along, out along me, they all were agreed she should be buried. With Bill Brewer, John Stewart, Peter Gurney, Peter Davy, Dan Wynne, Harry Hawk, old Uncle Tom Cobley and all.
Having bid farewell to the moors and their ghosts, I'm winding my way to another evocative corner of the southwest, Dorset's Jurassic Coast. It was in these rocks and sandy coves that the dinosaur hunters of the 19th century unearthed hidden treasures. And there's a legendary Dorset-born chef who is following suit.
Hi, nice to be back.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
My longtime friend Mark Hix runs the Oyster and Fish House in Lyme Regis, overlooking the harbour. Writer of 12 cookbooks and a colossus of the British food scene, he's always been a champion of local, often foraged ingredients. And I'm very excited to be sampling one of his signature dishes today.
Oh, that looks nice.
Cockles, pollock and seashore veg. It's a great example of what is local.
Yeah.
We can find these on the riverbank. So sea aster, sea purslane, marsh samphire, sea blight, which is interesting. But, you know, with fish just cooked simply, it's a perfect garnish.
I know.
Simple flavours.
I know it's going to taste wonderful because you just got this knack of doing the simplest things and somehow there's some sort of alchemy goes on there.
A lot of people say, oh, I'm not quite sure about pollock, but I think it's a good fish, isn't it? Bit of cider. That's made in Somerset. Now we have Dorset sea salt. Great.
Jurassic sea salt.
Yeah. Made in Portland. By a guy called Jethro. It's a proper Dorset name,
If
isn't
you were
it?
thinking the PR, you'd probably say flavoured with dinosaurs.
Very likely. So we're just going to pop that in the oven. 6 or 7 minutes. The cockle's just going to be lightly steamed in cider. It smells of the farm that it's made on.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Dead easy.
It's great to see Mark being so bold with the seafood, just relying on the flavours themselves to come through with no fancy extras.
So they've just about opened now, and they're lovely and plump, aren't they?
Mark blanches the seashore veg, plates up the pollock and scatters the cockles on top.
This represents what we do. Seasonality, simple, fresh.
It really does. It's all served with a crisp white wine, and even that is from round these parts. And what could be better than a glass of Devon minnow with some local pollock? This is fabulous.
It's the height of simplicity.
It's almost an antidote to sort of Michelin star food.
It is, yeah. In some ways, it's the opposite.
It is,
because we're talking about the ingredients more. You know, putting it very simply on the plate as opposed to complicating it, and also having an interest in where it comes from. You know, where food comes from is an important thing. You know, looking at the ocean, and I know whose boat it is, and I get on the phone to them and ask them what they've got.
What do you think about the cooking in the British Isles now, then? I mean...
Well, I think it's come a long way. I remember going to London, 40-odd years ago from Dorset, and everything was French. Menus were written in French, the dishes were French. And it probably wasn't until I started writing about food and finding all the different producers that I really sort of got into, the best of the UK sort of thing.
I mean, do you think that sort of people looking down on our cuisine is coming to an end then?
Yeah, I think so. No, I think you can eat as well in the UK as you can anywhere in the world, I think.
And on that note...
Cheers.
Cheers. It's very nice to be back in Padstow. I've been all around the UK now. The stories have been fantastic. I mean, people are a bit rude about this country and everything's going to the dogs to blah, de blah, de blah. It's not what I've seen. I've seen passionate individuals harnessing delicious produce from the land and sea.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Aren't they great?
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen exceptional chefs cooking extraordinary dishes.
The New York Times mentioned Birmingham as one of the places in the world to visit for its food, which I thought was incredible.
I'd probably taste another of these, and I'd say it's not as good as Rachel's. Charmer, I know.
You are a charmer.
And I've seen ideas from across the globe become an exciting part of our own food story. So good. No wonder it's so famous. So I think there's a big sort of surge of confidence in what we're doing and an eagerness to try out new things. So from that point of view, it's been a fantastic journey. I'm so glad I did it.